Welcome to the Avro Heritage Museum podcast.
Ray Reeder is a valued member of the Vulcan XM603 restoration team. Although he has strong family connections with the RAF, his work wasn't in aviation. In fact, he pursued a highly successful career in plumbing, specialising in high-end bathroom products. He chatted to me about the enormous challenge of restoring the interior of XM603 when, by his own estimation, around half of the instrumentation was missing. He tells us how Wi-Fi remote control for the bomb bay doors was created. He talks about the enthusiasm, versatility, skills and experience of the restoration team, and about the pleasure to be had from conducting guided cockpit tours for visitors. So, how did bathrooms lead into restoration work at Woodford? That part of the story began as Ray was nearing retirement, and he turned up one day in his classic car to Tatton Park. He takes up the tale from there.
Looking at retiring, I'd treated myself to a nice classic car. And I was at Tatton Park, and I was with the group that I go around all the different shows with in my nice MGC. And there was an old chap in a Spitfire fast asleep. And I thought, I can't disturb him, but I wanted to talk to him about his car. And when he woke up, I went over and I noticed he had a shirt on that said the Avro Heritage Museum. That chap was Roy Clark. And Roy got talking with me, and Roy said, "You're going to retire, are you? What do you want to do with your time?" I said, "Well, I think I can find a day or something to do something." He said, "Well, you need to come to one of our meetings," which was on a Tuesday, and it was actually in the museum that's gone, only very short time. That got dropped, of course, and we were going to a church hall.
Yes, I remember that. It was quite small, wasn't it?
It was. And I joined, and I got involved, and I progressed to the Vulcan because of my dad's background, I suppose. And with the Vulcan, it was Dave Pearce that was running the show, bless his cotton socks. Sadly, Dave's not a well man now. I understand he's got Alzheimer's. But he took me in. He gave me the role as doing this and that on the Vulcan, of which I was very grateful to him on. Eventually, when we were working on 603, we'd restored the exterior of her, and that must be coming up for 10 years now. And that was under the guidance of Dave. Did a great job. Good team. We were kicking our heels, and I couldn't believe it, but one of the trustees suggested it's a great shame that 603 hasn't got the interior like 602. So there was a few of us sat there, about a dozen. "What do you mean, Tucker?" "Well, it's something we couldn't possibly let the public see in its condition." Well, it was actually a rotting, soaking wet, corroded mess inside, and had also sadly been souvenir hunted and instruments stolen from it as well. We looked around at each other and we said, "You're talking about restoring this cockpit to 602? If possible." I got the job of being sort of acquisitions, hunting for missing instruments in the front, pilot's positions, and the rear positions. And at the time, I would say there was probably about 45% of the instrumentation in the aircraft gone, to the degree that someone had taken a hacksaw and cut out both the flying sticks and pilot's positions.
So it's been sort of ripped out, hadn't it?
It was not sympathetically done.
No.
We did find out that 558, the remaining flying Vulcan and their team, used bits off 603.
So they'd have to use that to keep.
They had to do that. I understand that, and we could always tell where they'd done it because whatever instrument had been taken, there was a plastic bag around the plastic connector tied up so it wouldn't rot or get down.
They'd done a proper job. Yeah.
So they'd done a proper job. Fair enough. So we repopulated the cockpit. Everything from pilots' ejector seat packs to ground position indicators to early warning ECM panels and everything else. A number of other museums.
Yeah. And
in particular, the owners, or should I say the runners of restoration teams. And everybody was so happy to help a physical Vulcan. Out there's dozens and dozens of aircraft enthusiasts Vulcan cockpit in particular, who've all made their own reproduction Vulcan panels, and they've soaked up such a lot of spare instrumentation and also sent the prices through the roof. But I knew some museums, I knew some people that did restoration, I knew some eBayers that had eBay sites, and I wrote to them all and I just said, can you please sympathetically either gift or price these things? And they all corresponded and did what I asked, to the degree that she is now 603, other than a flare pistol that goes in the cabin that they shoot when they want to do signals, when they're circling the airfield or whatever. That's the only thing that's missing from it.
And you're still hunting for that?
I am, and I know a bloke that's got one in Blackpool. But he won't let go of it yet. And what will happen, which so often happens, is he'll die. His wife will say, what's this junk? Away it goes.
And it's gone.
It's gone. Lost forever. But we didn't stop there when we restored the cockpit. We had a discussion, and because of COVID, we talked about getting 603 live outside. That is anti-collision lights flashing, under the wing landing lights coming down and operating. Landing on the bond bay door as well was something we wanted to look at doing. And we thought, I worked it out. It hadn't been operated for the best part of nearly 20 years, the bond doors. So the team, with help from 655 down in the Wellesbourne area, we got some of them up who have a live Vulcan. Eric Ranshaw, that runs that team, did an inspection. He said, I don't see why you can't get this going. Such and such hydraulic pipes are missing. You need to order this hydraulic unit because there's no engines in to power up the system, of which all the lads set to, and lo and behold, first click on a unit, we got it going. We then pushed it a bit further. We didn't want to walk around with a cable and a connector on it. And I made a suggestion to Stuart, who was the lead electrician on it, with the other lads. Can we do it Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi, yeah. Just walk around the aircraft, clicking buttons, getting these lights coming on, getting the bond door working. And lo and behold, they did it. They got it working. And they added a sound system to it as well. So we got a recording from a Vulcan that has the correct engines with the correct noise. And we can press a button.
Because if they weren't, somebody would tell you, wouldn't they, when they heard it?
So we got that going. And then after that, we decided there were going to be cockpit tours. Let's really give them a bang for their buck.
Right.
So the instrumentation in 603 is now running and live, so to speak. It wouldn't power up the aircraft, but they all illuminate as it would have been in service. So you've got all the rear instrumentation working, and you've got a large amount of the front pilot's panels working. So when people who are now going in, and we've done it into the second year, who pay a nice little sum of money to do it, they really get a good tour in 603. And that's where it is at the moment, other than sadly she needs repainting.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit.
And that's faulted me. I handed over to Pete Little 603 and they're looking after it. I'd done my stint for about 4 years or so. And Pete's doing a great job. He's doing his best. And I said to Pete, I'll just keep in touch with the chap from the former Royal Air Force lad who used to paint aircraft. He came over a year ago and gave us a quote for it. And then he said, what about this building site that's right near? I said, well, I don't know the circumstances on that. I don't know the time scale. He said, it would be a total waste of time for me to paint this aircraft.
You get dust. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we had a very wet year last year. So I had a chat with Steve about it and he said, well, reluctantly, we're going to have to hold back and see about this year. But they're still building right on the corner. So we've had to postpone it for the time being again. That said, she's getting a thorough cleaning next Tuesday, and she looks considerably better, gets all the green algae off and dust and everything.
It's the algae, isn't it?
Yeah, they're a good set of cleaners because they are paid to just do the top surface, which we shouldn't be going on, but they also do the underside as well. So that is due next Tuesday morning.
And just perhaps to mention to our listeners who are not experts, when it came in the first place, of course, it wasn't in the anti-flash white, was it? It
was not. It was camouflage.
The first job that had to be done, wasn't it?
It was the first 603 club, as they were called, ex-Avro men. Many of them probably built Vulcans who made the decision to return her to as she was when she was delivered to the Royal Air Force in anti-flash white. And that's what they did. That said, it's a pain trying to keep it nice and clean in anti-flash white.
The camouflage wouldn't have shown up the same, would it?
It's trying to come back through the aircraft.
Oh, right. So it's trying to come back, is it?
Yeah. So it will have to be repainted in the future again.
So it's an amazing team, isn't it? Right? Because you've done all that work actually procuring all the bits that are missing. Tell us a bit about the rest of the team, because there are people who can obviously fit all these things.
Absolutely, very capable guys. You've got Stuart. I shouldn't say his age, but Stuart's pushing 86 now. But a genius on the electrics. And Stuart brought the discipline and the documentation to all the wiring we've done, alongside Andy Flynn and also Alan Shaw. They did all the wiring, which is fantastic on it. So neat, really well done. Brian, what's his surname? I can't remember his surname now. Brian Withington, I think it is, also helps on the wiring. And then you've got the lads that physically help with their hands as well. And we've got about another 5 guys in that team as well.
And have we got all the original drawings and plans and all those specifications? They're all in the archive, are they?
Not all.
Because was some destroyed in the fire?
You know about the fire,
yeah.
Yes. But we've actually got a lot of what are called APs of the Vulcan.
Okay.
So these are concentrated catalogues of parts, wiring schemes and all that, which has been helpful to Stuart and all the other lads. You can
look things up. Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
So everything that's been done, certainly from a wiring point of view, has been precisely documented and indexed by Stuart's team. So future people, this isn't turning on, what's going wrong? They can go to that.
Because you have to think of that, don't you? Because
absolutely.
The people who actually worked on it, sadly, of course, nobody's there forever, are they?
We aren't, no.
You've got to think of that.
I joined as a 64-year-old. I'm 73 this year. So I'm not a youngster anymore. If a 64-year-old was ever a youngster, I've got my aches and pains, and I have to be mindful of that, as the rest of them do. I think our youngest guy on the team is a young lad that's volunteering with us at the moment, and he's in his early 20s. He'll be going on to college. I think he wants to do avionics as well, which would be good. And we get a steady flow of these lads. That's what Roger Yates helps with. We'd like them to stay, but of course, they've got the whole world ahead of them. They don't know what life will throw at them, and it's very uncertain at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. And it makes this most magnificent backdrop to these photo shoots, doesn't it? I was looking at the ones for a night shoot. About a month or so ago. They are amazing photographs,
indeed,
aren't they?
We have another night shoot as well later in the year in October that I'm involved with. And this is by Cope Aviation. Cope go that bit further. These are the guys that organise you sitting in the back of a transport aircraft with your cameras, and maybe a typhoon or a tornado, as there used to be, comes flying up behind you with the pilot waving. Or you go to a Greek hillside and you've got still Phantoms that are still in the Greek Air Force flying past you. Fantastic. Or Japan or America. He goes all over there, but he likes to do a shoot here. And it's no state secret now because he's advertising the shoot night in October. We're going to do a bit of a Roly Folk enactment. So that aeroplane out of the window there, that little 707C, he didn't fly that, but he did fly some of its predecessors. And there's that great picture of him with the canopy open, in his aviator sunglasses, in his suit, smiling out of it.
Wow.
Now, these lads have got someone that can reenact those sort of pictures.
And just to explain to our listeners, through the window there, is a one-third, effectively a one-third size,
Vulcan.
Is it? Vulcan.
Yeah. We actually finished.
Which isn't a model. I mean, it flew, isn't it? It wasn't just a scale model.
It was the Ministry of Defence wanted proof of the
whether the Delta Wing worked or not. That was the key.
So we built these little examples, beautiful little planes. We've got the only 2-seater. Incidentally, no ejector seats in that.
Really?
If it went wrong, you went down with it.
That was it.
But it was used to give familiarity to pilots on the Delta Wing principle. Plus, it's also got, in its infancy in there, a fly-by-wire technology on the first pilot's seat in it. So you've got conventional controls and another form of control. I forget its name now. There is a term for it where it actually works off electric impulses, I think it is, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be reenacted.
Wow.
And in 603, we're hopefully getting him walking up and getting up the ladders and so on. And the flight crew will be in white as if they're technicians this time. You've just got to keep moving the parameters because, no offence, every man is doing an outside shoot now. I see them all being advertised of aircraft, and they're great. But after a while, those same people will say, well, I don't want to go and do that again. I'd like something more interesting now. And that's what we're trying to do with this shoot in October.
Great. And just to explain to people who've maybe not been to the museum yet. 602 is inside. It's the cockpit.
Yes.
It's easily accessible because it's
very much so. We've
staircase,
got some nice
isn't
convenient steps.
it's the full works inside, isn't it?
Yeah. We get people of all ages in there.
Yeah.
I do cockpit tours on a Sunday.
Right.
And you've got Dad with his little toddler in the seat. They love to take the pictures, of course.
Yeah.
And I've had a lady last Sunday that worked for Avro from 57 to 63. Now, she was delighted she could get up there as well.
Yeah.
So it's appealing to all ages.
We're hoping to do a recording with her, by the way. She managed to get up quite happily.
Yes, indeed. She sat in the stairwell and listened away.
Great.
And when I find people like that come in the cockpit, ex-pilots, ex-RAF, whatever, I like them to talk. I know they're paying to listen to it.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating, which is a job you can do now, is extracting the information from them. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I've had ex-Vulcan. I'll never forget this lad came up with a Zimmer frame with a helper. This must have been 2 years ago. Up to the bottom of 602 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and he's looking up and I said, "Do you think you can manage that, sir?" He says, "I think I can if I've got a bit of time." I said, "Well, we'll stretch the tour out for you if you're going to attempt it."
Yeah.
And the lady that was with him winked at me and I didn't pick it up at the moment. So he staggered up the steps to the first level and I followed him. I should have actually gone before him, but I thought I might catch him if he fell.
Yeah.
And he looked at the ladders and I managed to squeeze in around him and I said, "Are you going to have a go at those?" He said, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
So up he went like a sloth up the second ladder.
Yeah, because you've got to go another ladder, haven't you, to get to the pilots?
And he stood at the top.
Which is harder, isn't it? That one's steeper.
He stood at the top. He smiled at me. He grabbed the roof handle and swung into the seat. And I went, "You've done that many times before."
So
he said, "I'm an ex-Vulcan pilot."
Oh.
So that was another example. And I've got all his details.
Great. Oh, great.
He's actually sent me photographs of when he was in
Fantastic.
service. And I'm happy to pass all these over.
Great, yeah.
And it was fascinating.
No wonder he was determined to get up there.
He was. He smiled at me.
Yeah.
He said, "Yes, I was in such and such a squadron."
Yeah. So in the museum, that's available. Well, assuming obviously we've got volunteers there, but that's available all the year. But perhaps to remind people, for the 603, which is the full aircraft outside, that tends to be the summer, doesn't it? Really, because you can't really
we get Easter behind us.
Yeah.
And we hope that the weather's going to be much better.
Yeah, because you don't want to be trying to go up in icy weather, because that one's
correct.
A bit harder to get up to, isn't it?
We are gathering more and more volunteers on that. It's a much more intense tour.
Yeah.
So they're learning more of the aspects of the Vulcan, its reason for being, how it flew, da-da-da. That's up to an hour almost of the tour. So when we first did it, and I was on the team talking about it, we really daren't advertise it on the website.
No.
You have some people don't turn in and someone's driven from Nottingham.
That's the issue, isn't it?
They wouldn't be very happy.
No.
It's now getting slick. It's getting streamlined. And as well as Stuart, Malcolm is now helping. So we've got Malcolm Sargent and Stuart Thomas, the overseers of this, and they're enrolling more people who are really keen to learn the aspects of it. Nobody's ever going to get it word perfect.
No.
But from what I've heard, they do a pretty good job on it. So that will start, and that will be probably a maximum of 4, maybe 5 tours a day. And it's a first come, first serve principle.
Yeah. And that one is £10 from memory, certainly correctly. It's going up, is it? Right.
Yeah, just chat with them. I think it's going up to 15.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because
but it's still
we've moved it out to an hour now.
Oh, if it's an hour,
it's an hour all in.
Still very good value.
You walk around the aircraft, they demonstrate, probably the bomb doors and everything as well.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And the thing to say is, we as an air museum offer cockpit tours every weekend. Nobody in this country offers a Lancaster cockpit tour.
No.
Yes, they do specialise one. We do it every weekend.
Yeah, and that's only £2, which is ridiculous. I mean, that may go up perhaps as well, but at the moment, I mean, that's incredibly good value. A bit more expensive for the new one, because that takes a bit.
We have to be mindful.
Even that's only £3.
We have to be mindful of the museums, because some of them only charge an entry charge.
Yeah,
and it's well, if such and such is in, he'll open the cockpit for you. That's the way it operates.
Right,
and they have a collection box at the bottom as well.
Yeah,
so that's where we're coming from on this.
Yeah. And if you're going to see the not the longer tour of the Vulcan, but the others, you arrive and you book a time slot basically.
Right.
So
There's one other little addition I'd like to put into this meeting.
Please.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We have restored a Royal Air Force bomb trailer.
Okay.
It's in Bay 4.
Right.
I, with contacts I know at the Solway Air Museum, saw it underneath their Vulcan, and I'd had an idea in my head, well, okay, we know about the Vulcan and so on. What about the weapons they carry? We wouldn't have a Vulcan, we wouldn't have a Lancaster if we didn't need these sorts of transport to carry these sorts of weapons. So slowly but surely, we've restored the trailer. It's looking magnificent. And I've been involved with the Royal Air Force Museum on acquisition. Spotted that they had what's called a Yellow Sun casing. Now, Yellow Sun was the second incarnation of a nuclear weapon to be delivered by an aircraft by the Royal Air Force. It's flat-fronted to slow it down when it's released, to give the crew a chance to get away. It's in all total length about 22 feet long. So you've got big drum steel casing that we're getting very soon. That's going to be restored, repainted. It's going to be put on specialised cradles on the bomb trailer, and then a tail will be fabricated by Ray Topham and his team.
Brilliant.
It'll look, and the idea is, put it under 603, and people will say, wow, didn't realise the bombs were so big. They did get smaller again as we got into, I won't bore everybody with fission and so on, but they did get smaller, and we've got 2 bombs coming also, former, not nuclear, but practice rounds, after the Yellow Sun. So we've got a bit of a story to tell people on that.
Brilliant.
That's where I'm at the moment.
Ray, it's been a great privilege to talk to you, to hear those stories. So thanks ever so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Make sure you follow us in your podcast app to ensure that you don't miss out on future episodes.